What's up, y'all? This is Henny. It's Friday, and you can see we're going to talk about a lot of little things today. Do it! First of all, man, listen, the love that I've been given, thank God. I appreciate all those who reaching out, sending me DMs, sending me emails, sending me letters. Man, it's incredible. It's really incredible. I appreciate the fact that I can be as transparent as I would like to be with y'all. And, just try to give back as much as I can, man. So thank you for that. But today, I want to talk about what people have been asking. They see a lot on the videos on my adventures in beat making. There's one here up here, if you're on YouTube. They see me creating in all these different places, whether I'm sampling, whether I'm bringing in musicians. I'm using a lot of gadgets to make this possible. And today, I definitely want to show you the different things that I'm using to make this happen. If you don't know by now, my main device right now is this 12.9 iPad Pro, fully loaded. I'm using an iPad Pro to do 90% of my music creation. I'm also using my iPhone 7 Plus to do a lot of my sampling, a lot of little very short ideas, sometimes my audio notes, things of that sort on a daily basis. We'll get into this. So those are two my main devices that I'm using to create. Now, if you don't know, I've already done a what's in my bag earlier this year. I talked a lot about what I carry along with me on a daily basis. But a lot of people asking me, how are you putting this stuff together and what are you using what for? Let's get into that with the pieces that I have here on this table. Starting out with one of my go-tos, if you don't know, this is here a X-Key Air Bluetooth keyboard, 25 notes. It's running Bluetooth. So basically, if I'm using any of my apps, I can go into settings, MIDI, Bluetooth MIDI, and it'll show my X-Key Air 25. Once it's connected, you see, there's no latency. Works flawlessly. My X-Key Air, I'm using that for a lot of my playing. When I'm on the go, a lot of times now I play keys for years and I'll still use one hand for keys and one hand for bass. But if there's a time where I really need to bring out a full keyboard, something like this over here, which is my Panorama P6, but I have here my Lightning to USB adapter. What I'll do with this is I'll take the keyboard cable from this keyboard, plug it into here. You plug your Lightning connector into your charging, either your charging brick like this or your normal Apple brick, and then you plug it into your device and you're able to play your devices that are bigger, have more keys, stuff like that. So that's why I have this, which is my Lightning to USB 3 adapter. Listen, all the links to everything I have will be in this description below, and feel free to check those out. I know you've seen in a couple of episodes, you might see me use this device. It's a Shure NB88, and it plugs directly into your iPad, directly into your iPhone. It comes with its own windscreen. You can plug it right there, and it also can twist the direction that it's in, because it can do a directional mic or a stereo mic. And what I love about this, when you plug this into the app, I plug it into my iPhone, you see it's directly connected. And if you're using an Apple case like I am, it works with the case, which is good for me. Now, if you go into their app, you can see that it has different patterns, right? I use this for all my voiceovers and all my adventures in beat making as well. So I'm using that like this as a voiceover tool, or if I'm sampling, I'm using this more of a stereo pattern, and you can get it as wide as 135 degrees, all the way as narrow at 60 degrees. You can set a limiter on it right there, wind reduction. You can also set an equalizer on it. I set a little bit of a curve for my voice. All of that is built into this Shure Motif app, and I love it. Like, you go in, you hit the record button, 1 2 1 2 1 2. You can see it's working. So you go in, you see it, what I just recorded. 1 2 1 2 1 2. You can see it's working. I'll take that file, I'll go up here, you can see I will go to share. A lot of times I'll go to more, and I would share it using AirDrop to either my iPad, or if I'm collaborating with somebody else, maybe send it to their MacBook Pro or their MacBook or their iMac, something like that. Or if I just need to hold on to it, I'll send it to my iCloud right here. Boom, I either have it in my iCloud or I'm sending it to another device, and it works. If you can see right here, sampling sounds in the woods, you know, sampling my voice, sampling instruments like horns and stuff like that. Works great. Shure NB88. It's clutch. I love it. And I keep it in this protective case at all times, and I just keep it with me. It's awesome. The other thing that you might have seen in last week's episode when I was in the car riding around with a lot of musicians is how are you getting, you know, their instruments into my iPad. I was using the Zoom U22. After using this, it was pretty good. It was a little bit of static to it. I ain't gonna fake. If I'm about to record bass or guitar straight into my iPad, I'll probably switch this out for something like an Apogee Jam. I love Apogee products. They have clean inputs, clean outputs. Don't get me wrong. This Zoom product is about $99. It's great for what it does. I also use this to record from record players. That's why I use this instead of the Apogee Jam. But I'll probably use an Apogee Jam if I'm just recording guitar or bass. But what this does, it has a few inputs. It has a line in input, it has a mic input, and also a high Z line input, a gain knob up here, an output knob up here. It has the USB where you plug into like this. Take that, plug this in. And the only other thing you need, if you don't have one of these, as I talked about before, this is the USB 3, Lightning to USB 3 adapter. This is a Lightning to USB 2 adapter, and it works well because this is powered by its own batteries. So I'll plug that into here. Now if I go into, I'm up here with a new Blocks Wave screen, and you can see the settings. If you can see that, it says the Zoom U22 driver. You can do mono or you can do stereo. Just make sure if you're doing guitar or bass, something like that, that you switch it to mono if you're using something like this. Now, why am I recording in the Blocks Wave? I like the fact that it loops very well. It creates the loops. You can set it to 8 bars, to 4 bars, 2 bars, 1 bar, 16, or infinite bars. And with multiple different takes to multiple different parts, sections of your record. And then I'll take all of those sections and I'll create it differently and sequence it. You've seen it. So I'll just plug it in. I'll plug the guitar, the bass into there, set the gain, record it straight in with the track that maybe I had a couple ideas on, and we get it going like that. Or another cool trick is for all you digital samplers out there, you can take, if you have an iPhone 7 Plus or iPhone 7 like myself, you don't have to worry about this, but you have this dongle that you can plug into here. You can plug a 1/8 inch into that, and then you can plug this 1/8 inch into the line in on your U22 going back to your iPad. Now I can sample anything that my iPad is doing, going straight into whatever software I'm trying to sample in. And so that's cool. Some people like to sample off of YouTube. Some people like to sample off different places. It's just a tip. Sampling going from my iPhone to this U22 into the iPad. It works. Tip trick. Boom. With all this stuff being done mobily, I highly suggest getting one of these. And this is an Anker Battery. It has 3 inputs. I think it can charge your iPhone something like 16 something times. Something ridiculous. It's fast charging, has good amps, and I can charge my iPhone, my iPad. Sometimes I'll carry cameras or something that need to be charged via USB. You need a hefty battery with you when you're doing all this stuff mobily and you're out on the go. I charge stuff all the time using this, and I rarely ever, in the course of a day or two, ever get past two bars when I'm charging on the go. This thing lasts a long time. It's worth the investment when you're trying to bring all this digital mobile technology together. Oh yeah, I'm also charging this with Great for charging. Trust me, get you an Anker battery. If you don't need one this big, it's all good. I'm just telling you, it's heavy, it's heavier. It's almost just, it might be heavier than my iPad Pro, but it's worth it so that you can make sure your stuff lasts all day. That's what I'm using this Anker. Now, if I'm in the studio and I want to play my tracks and I want them to sound beefier and punchier, and I'm going straight from my phone or straight from my iPad. I showed this before, but even when we're starting a session, I will plug this device. This is a FiO A3. It's a portable headphone amp, and a lot of people told me after they bought it, they really liked the fact of how much better they're getting a bump and a low end out of their music when they're just playing it out, or they're playing it in their headphones, or they're playing it in the car, or playing it in the studio. FiO A3, all you got to do, it has an auxiliary in and a headphone in. So on your auxiliary in, you're going to say what's coming into this. I plug my 1/8 inch into that. I can plug my iPhone into this, and if I was in the studio, I would just plug the studio aux cord into here, and all it does is it has a volume knob, a bass boost, and a low and high gain. That's it. It charges via USB. I charge it on one of these. It's good to go, and it's giving me a lot more oomph. You know what I'm talking about. When you get into the studio, you get to a spot where you're trying to impress people with your music, you want to go all the way in, man. I'm telling you, that's what I do. Make sure that nobody can say, oh, you're doing stuff on an iPad, you're doing stuff on iPhone, and they don't want to respect you. Never lost respect when I got into the studio. Always gained it. Why? Because I'm trying something new. They ain't tried it before. They're like, oh, shit, Hen, what you doing with that? Exactly. Let's get back to it. Y'all see I got the headphones. I'm always mixing in my headphones. And if you get used to that, if you get used to understanding that 90% of the people that listen to your music nowadays are probably listening to it in some form of headphones, whether they're Bluetooth or something like this, your regular Audio Technica ATH M50s, or even your regular Apple headphones. You want to have a good, solid sounding beat mixed for your headphones. Now, you're going to get your songs, if it's professionally put out there, mixed by a true engineer, a mastering engineer, and they're going to take it from your idea to a very polished idea to a very mastered idea. But to make a first impression, make sure that your shit jams in the headphones. That's why I use them all the time. And with these ATH M50s, they're reasonably priced. They give you a nice balanced sound, and I trust them. I've trusted them for years. That's it, man. Like, that's pretty much the lay of the land when I need to go out and I need to do stuff. I feel like I can get most of anything accomplished with what I have here on the table. I'm trying to tell you, if you're investing into doing things more mobile, you're going to need more mobile gadgets to help you get the job fully done. If that made any sense to anybody out there? You know what I'm talking about. But even with all these gadgets and all these trinkets, you still need to get out there. The main thing I can tell you is that energy attracts energy. One thing that I've learned so much about what I've been doing over the last 25 weeks is I'm putting great energy out to the world, and I'm getting great energy back. If you're not getting the results that you want out of your life, think about the energy that you're giving and what you're attracting. Like attracts like. I'm very, very focused on the energy around me. As you can see, why I wear Securing the Vibe so much. If you want something in your life, decide right here that that's what you want. Think about it every chance that you get. When I told people last week that I'm going to be one of the greatest, most innovative music producers in my generation, that's what started here. What am I doing now? Just fulfilling it over and over and over. I'm telling you, as you think, so you shall become. It's proven. Obsess with it to the point that it stays on your mind constantly. And you will do anything you have to do to get there. Energy attracts energy. And I'm going to leave you with these 10 nuggets that I got from a post about law of attraction. And it reads like this. Number 1, you attract what you fear, feel, and think. Number 2, we are all born superstars. You just have to pull it out of yourself. Number 3, visualize clearly, precisely, and frequently, and it will manifest itself into reality. Number 4, visualization works if you work hard. Number 5, decide what will be, who will be, and how you're going to do it. Number 6, as you think, so shall you become. Number 7, don't Don't allow your thoughts to be anything you don't want. Number 8, like attracts like. Number 9, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And number 10, laugh every chance you get. And I'm out.